hope you're all having a good time so far. Yeah, ragged cap. Gimme. Gimme. Hello.
What is that?
That's it. That's it. Oh. Oh, stay still. Even in slow-mo, you are terrible. Nighty-night. Yeah, sleep on the bench. Oh, you didn't even explode. Usually they have an elemental explosion. Sorry, my butt was a little warm. Had to cool it off, you know? Serana breathing down my neck. Could you not follow so closely? Where did the other one go? Oh, over here. Why I come in here like I'm trying to clear a room in Call of Duty, I don't know, but it works, okay? Watch out, Serana. Come on. You know the drill. I gotta make sure that I'm looting. Oh, I'm not allowed to leave until I beat her? Cool. Let's do this.
Who's there? Who's there? Done and done.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me, Serana. I'm the one who did it. I'm the one who done it. Okay. Anybody in here on the crapper? No? Okay. Serana. No, it's fine. I'll jump over. Ah, come on. Ooh, glow dust. Another lantern. Not necessary, but okay. What have you got? Void souls, thank you. Now let's see. Ooh. Oh, that's why I couldn't get in there before. We're not going that way yet. Stairs. Ow. Give me. Gimme. Yep, I'll take 'em. That actually should be something I'll be gathering. Because if I remember correctly, there is a place that requires those things. Why not? I thought there would be a few, oh. New enchantments, great. That's wonderful. Serana, chill. We're not here to be doing all that. Okay. That was funny. I can't help it, it was hilarious. At least this place is nice and cleared out now. Don't worry, I emptied the sack, guys. Who's here? Night night. Oh yeah, that was a great dance.
I knew I heard something.
What's wrong? No.
That'll teach you.
Idiot. Now things are all over the place instead of on the shelves where they belong. Sometimes you can't win from losing with her. But she is the best follower, so I'll let it slide. Look at the mess you've made. The loot is on the ground. Like all of it, including the loot. So I'm gonna have to be going around looking at the ground, the shelves, everything now. When I could have just been looking at the shelves, Serana. The shelves! This is why, if you're planning to go through a dungeon for looting purposes, do not bring a mage. Hello. Boethia's proving. Ugh, I got tongue-tied for a moment. I'll get the words out eventually. Nope. Nope. We seem to be clear. I thought we were clear, but apparently not. Heh, you can't get up here. You can't get up here. That's great for me. The Ethereum Wars. I can't remember if I have this or not, but I'll be taking it. Ah, plates, great. I really should be focusing more on... Hello, what? Could there be anyone in here? No? Okay, I'll take it. That's great. Nothing but good loot. Why not? Serana, don't.
What was that?
It was nothing.
That'll teach you.
Serana, what did I tell you? You never listen. I probably should get her to behave sooner or later. Yay, I have the key. Alright, Serana. We're going to be going through. And, hello. I don't know what you were supposed to have, but, that's the way forward, I'm assuming. Assuming you are not. Hello. We've got treasure. Ouch, my pride. I'll take it all. It was worth a singular lockpick. Why was he so mystical? I want to know. Give me the answers, guys. I'll carry a few charcoal with me as well. I have my reasonings for this, okay? At some point... Wrong button. At some point you end up needing paper and charcoal to make certain spells. Now, I personally have never reached the point where I could do it, and I can't remember if it was a mod or an actual part of the story. However, I don't want to be caught unprepared, because sweet roll. It was I who stole it. The sweet roll is mine. Where did it go? There was something else on there. Oh. I'm so ready to be able to find a nice fork or knife. Preferably ones that I can wield. Then I could be Toriko. Except I'll be, not hunting animals, but people. Whoa, the autosave had me worried for a moment. Give me that, give me that. I don't have Ice Spike either? I have no frost spells. That bothers me. Alright, Serana, before we... No, look at me. Before we go in there, you better be on your best behavior. Alright. Sneak, disable the lantern, and let's go!
So you're the one who barged into my home and laid waste to my projects. How nice to meet you. Names no longer matter. You may refer to me as the Caller. Now, do you have a reason for making such a mess? So you're just one of Arin's lackeys. That's disappointing.
Lackey?
You show real promise. You've come here, kill my assistants, disrupt my work.
Well, they shouldn't have attacked
You've
me.
annoyed me, so I don't think I'll be giving you anything. Are you attempting to threaten me after I've been so hospitable? Well, then you
if
won't
you were
be leaving here at
hospitable.
all.
I don't think you were ever hospitable. That's what I thought. Night of Tears. Okay, Sarthal holds a prominent place in Skyrim history, even if most do not remember it by name. It is, of course, the site of one of the most major Nord settlements, one of the first cities of men in Skyrim, the earliest known capital of their civilization. It was also the site of terrible bloodshed when the elves attempted to drive the Nords out of Skyrim, to succeed only in incurring their wrath in the form of Ysgramor and his fabled 500 companions, who swept the elves from Skyrim and firmly established it as the home of the Nords. All this is known, but little else. What happened to that on that night of tears when Sarthal was razed to the ground? What provoked the elves to such a deliberate, vicious attack, and what prompted such a severe response from the Nords? Then Galmo's treated. I'm not even gonna bother. On the Altmer and antecedent. I don't know what that's supposed to sound like. Okay. Suggests that the elves were of the Merithic era, along with their counterparts, the early Dwemer, possessed a degree of sophistication unparalleled in Tamriel. They displayed power beyond what could be expected of the time. While a distinct explanation is not given for this, I believe this work, compared with the early writings of I want to say that's an H, but it could also be a B. Something Kirinus, I'm assuming, suggests that something greater was at work on that night in Sarthal. The true motives behind the Night of Tears have been obscured to us by the passage of time, but I believe this was not a simple war of territory or to control Skyrim. I believe that what happened was a significant event based around something very particular. The Nords found something when they built their city buried deep in the ground, attempted to keep it buried, but the elves learned of it and coveted it for themselves. Thus, they assaulted Sarthal. Their goal was not to drive the Nords out, but to secure this power for themselves. I believe Ysgramor knew something of what the elves would find under Sarthal and rallied together his people to keep the elves from gaining it. When Nords once again controlled Skyrim, this power was buried deep below the earth and sealed away. Time has kept this knowledge from us, but it is my hope that time will also reveal the truth of these words. Every effort will be made to relocate Sarthal and find that which has been lost to us. Cool, cool. The Atrium. Artaeum. Ah. The Isle of Artaeum is the third largest island in the Somerset archipelago, located south of Moridanan, village of Potenza. I'm guessing on these, so don't get mad if I'm wrong. And west of the mainland village of Runsebe? I'm not sure about that one. It is best known for being home to the Sigic Order, perhaps the oldest monastic group in Tamriel. The earliest written record of Sigics is from the 20th year of the First Era. Good grief. It tells the tale of the renowned Breton sage and author Thurinat traveling to the Isle of Artaeum to meet with... I'm assuming that's an I and not an L, so I'm gonna go Iacasis? Iacasis? I'm not sure. We'll go with Iacasis. It sounds more fitting. The right master of the Sigics. Even then, the Sigics were the counselors of kings and proponents of the Elder Way, taught to them by the original race that inhabited Tamriel. The Elder Way is a philosophy of meditation said to bind the forces of nature to the individual will. It differs from magicka in origin, but the effects are much the same. That said, it is perhaps more than coincidence that the Isle of Artaeum literally vanished from the shores of the Somerset at the beginning of the Second Era, at about time of the founding of the Mages Guild in Tamriel. Various historians and scholars have published theories about this, but perhaps none but Iacchus and his own could shed light on the matter. 500 years passed and Artaeum returned. The Sigics on the Isle consisted of persons, mostly elves, who had disappeared and were presumed dead in the Second Era. They could not or would not offer any explanation for Artaeum's whereabouts during that time, or the fate of Iacchus and the original Council of Artaeum. Currently, the Sigics are led by the Lore Master Solaris, who has presided over the Council of Artaeum for the last 250 years. The Council's influence in Tamrielian politics is titled the Kings of Somerset, particularly those of Moradun, have often sought the Sigics' opinion. Emperor Uriel V was much influenced by the Council in the early, most glorious parts of his reign. Before this disastrous attack on Akfair, it has been suggested that the fleet of King Orgon of Diandonia, I can't tell if it's a P or a D. These letters are weird. Odd fonts. Was destroyed by a joint effort of the Emperor Antiochus and the Sigic Order. The last four emperors, Uriel VI, Marahatha, Pelagius IV, and Uriel VII, have been suspicious of the Sigics enough to refuse ambassadors from the Isle of Artaeum within the imperial city. The Isle of Artaeum is difficult to chart geographically. It is said that it shifts continually, either at random or by decree of the council. Visitors to the island are so rare as to be almost unheard of. Anyone desirous of meeting with a Sigic may find contact in Potenza. I want to say that's a P. I'm not sure. As well in Brunsebe, as well as many of the kingdoms of Somerset. Were it more accessible, Artaeum would be a favorite destination for travelers. I have been to the Isle once and still dream of its idyllic orchards and clear pastures. It sounds like a haven. Its still and silent lagoons, its misty woodlands, and the unique Sigic architecture that seems to be as natural as its surroundings, as well as wondrous in its own right. The Sepora Tower in particular I would study, for it is a relic from a civilization that predates the High Elves by several hundred years and is still used in certain rites by the Sigics. Perhaps one day I might return. Note, the author is currently on the Isle of Artaeum by gracious consent of Master Sargenius of the Council of Artaeum. Cool. I'm not sure I'm going to have time to be able to read all of this, but I'm going to try. Last King of the Aelids. Aelids? I think Aelids is more proper. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with that. The Aelids are, or Heartland High Elves, ruled Cyrodiil. Hold on. We're going to check the page numbers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, I can make that. No big deal. Alright, the Aelids, or Heartland High Elves, ruled Cyrodiil in the long ages of myth before the beginning of recorded history. One of the earliest recorded dates, in fact, is the fall of the White Gold Tower, and 1E243, which is I'm guessing that means First Era 243, which is commonly assumed to mark the end of the Aelids. Although Aelid rule over all of Cyrodiil was indeed broken in the First Era of year 243, this was only one of the most obvious stages near the end of a long decline. The first 2 centuries of the First Era saw increasing strife between the great Aelid lords of Cyrodiil. Alesia, I'm not sure, appears to have taken advantage of a period of civil war to launch her uprising. Imperial historians have traditionally attributed her victory to intervention from Skyrim, but it appears that she had at least as much help from rebel Aelid lords during the siege of White Gold Tower. The popular image of the Aelids as brutal slave masters is based in fact, of course, but it is less well known that a number of the Aelid princes continued to rule parts of Cyrodiil after 263 as vassals of the new Empress of Cyrodiil. This suggests either that Aelid rule was not universally detested, or that Alesia and her successors were more pragmatic than is traditionally believed, or perhaps some of both. In an event, excavations at a number of Aelid sites show continued occupation and even expansion during the so-called late Aelid period. First Era 243 to current era 498. I'm guessing that's what that means. At first, many Aelid lords continued to rule as vassals of the new human regime. In some cases, Aelid supporters of Alesia were even rewarded with new lands taken from slain enemies. It is not clear to what extent human slavery continued under the Cyrodiilic Empire. Humans continued to dwell in the Aelid-ruled areas of Cyrodiil, but there is nothing definitive to show under what terms. This was an uneasy relationship from the beginning and was not destined to last long. Resentment at the continued presence of the Aelid nobles within the empire was a contributing factor to the rise of the so-called Alesian order, founded by Maruk. I think that's the proper pronunciation. The first victims of the Alesians were the Aelids of Cyrodiil. In the early 300s, the surviving Aelid communities in human-ruled areas were obliterated one by one, the refugees temporarily swelling the power of the remaining Aelid lordships. Then in 361, the Alesians gained control of the empire and enforced the Alesian doctrines throughout its domain. The Aelid lordships were abolished. Enforcement of this decree does not appear to have required much direct violence. It seems that by this point the balance of power was so overwhelmingly against them, and their fate so long foreshadowed, that most of the remaining Aelids simply left Cyrodiil, eventually being absorbed into the elven populations of Valenwood and High Rock. Indeed, the rise of the Direni Hikami? I'm not sure about that one. May be linked to the exodus of Aelids from Cyrodiil, a connection so far little studied by historians. A still remnant Aelid population seems to have survived the rule of the Alesians, because we hear of the last king of the Aelids joining the Battle of Glenumbria Moors, where the Durinus decisively defeated the Alesians in 482. How this king's people survived the preceding century is unknown. We do not even know who they were, although recent research points to Nanalata, as the possible resting place of the last king. Okay, so that last part threw me for a loop, but that's fine. Unfortunately, in the current state of the Empire, funds are no longer available for proper scientific investigation of such extensive ruins, so the answer to these questions will have to be left for future generations. Alrighty everyone, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and have a wonderful day. Until next time everyone.